Rayla, so good to have you on here. We're doing it. We're on.
Hi.
This is it. This is big time.
It's big time, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
What are you drinking right there? What do you got in the mug?
Coffee,
Okay. Good deal.
black coffee.
Black, nothing else. No sugar, no cream.
No, no way. I'm hardcore.
Clearly. I mean, shit. I do. I like. I'll do black coffee. Somebody else is making coffee. I'll go. I want to make it easy. Just give me a
Yeah,
black.
I think that's what it stemmed from.
Hmm.
I was like very shy growing up, and so I feel like probably when I first started drinking coffee, it's like, oh, I don't want to ask for anything else, so I'll just like tolerate this. And now I don't really like sweet coffee. Like I kind of only drink it this way because I'm like a really, serious musician and artist.
Right. Right. And yeah. I mean, Black Flag. It worked out for them.
Yeah, that's
So.
true.
So if you're getting coffee somewhere else, like a coffee shop or a Starbucks or Coffee Bean, whatever it may be, are you just asking for black coffee?
Um, well, I guess if I'm paying for coffee, then I'll try and get something fancier and I'll try and be really demanding to make up for the years that I wasn't demanding.
Yeah.
Like if I'm paying $7, I don't really want to just get like a black coffee, but I do end up regretting it a lot of the time if I get something like really sweet and weird. I don't know.
What
I'm
was the
kind of broke
last?
right now, so I don't know the last time I even paid for coffee. So I'm like
No, that's
what
good.
is ordering coffee?
It's not even worth it. Just make your own.
Exactly.
I like coffee too. I like a little bit of cream though
Yeah.
sometimes.
I need to stop drinking it actually. Like I really do know that about myself, but I kind of don't trust people that don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
So I keep drinking it even though I think that it's causing me some like anxiety.
because you don't want to be suspect. I know. I get it. You don't want to. Yeah. Somebody's like,
Everything is about my image if you haven't gathered that.
no,
Like
right.
I'm a very like yeah,
What?
exactly.
We've been doing this for maybe 3 minutes now, and I've gathered it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
good.
in it. I got you. I see where you're coming from.
Glad you understand me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you were shy as a kid.
Yeah, like crippling. It's kind of crazy that I'm a functioning human adult. So yes, I was very shy. And I mean I grew out of that, but I was like very sensitive child and did cry a lot and like was very reserved in a lot of ways, but then also have this complete other side of myself where I'm like the lead, like I've always been the leader in my friend groups and like I would get into trouble and like I was a very rebellious child, but then I could get out of it because I had that really sensitive and tender side. So I was kind of a fuckhead. Um, but yeah, I don't know, being seen by people freaked me out, but I also grew up dancing and so I like would have recitals and dance in front of people and I could do that, but then would shut down after, like not
Right.
one-on-one attention like this. Like I hate this,
This is
but like
daunting. Yeah.
group attention, I think I can handle.
What were you doing in your rebellious phase of being a youth?
um it was like lots of mean stuff. I was like a very um I really didn't like being perceived as cute. Like adults would always tell me I was cute, and I would yell at them. I'd go, "I'm not cute," and then I would have to do something like bully like the boys. Like I had like a little gang, and I would like bully the boys at school that I obviously like had crushes on, but nobody
Sure.
would know that. So I had to just be like vile to them and like push them. Um, I had like a kind of short-lived dominatrix moment where like after school boys would like line up to like let me beat them up, which is crazy. I don't know how we got on this so quickly. I think I just needed to share this publicly.
It needs to get out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very distinct memory of like fighting my friend, and I never wanted to hurt people, but I like also wasn't holding back, and I think I pushed him and he like scraped his knee. I don't really know what happened, but he was bleeding and I stopped and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like that's a step too far." And he was crying, and I will never forget him like looking up at me through his tears and saying, "I'm so proud of you." So I think that really shaped me
It's
as a
wild.
yeah.
And all throughout this time, just dancing as well
Yeah.
as a public facade.
Yes, absolutely. Like breaking into buildings and stuff, like picking locks, like stuff like that. That was probably like the top tier. I like adrenaline. And so I was just trying to like I was like an adrenaline junkie child, I think.
And now you just get your kicks off coffee.
Exactly. I'm really
Okay,
boring now. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And where was this? Where were you growing up?
I grew up in LA, like LA proper.
What does that mean for the folks like me that don't understand
Oh yeah,
LA
where are you
proper?
from?
Orange County. So this is, I mean, I
You're
this is
not from
so
LA, and you know
so
that.
distant, not
Yeah.
proper,
Okay.
not even improper.
I'm not from the fucking valley. That's not LA proper. I'm not from Orange County. I was born in Koreatown, and then I moved to like Mar Vista, Culver City area in my younger adolescence, and then I've lived in Hollywood since I was a teenager. So
Oh, you're a Hollywood kid.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hollywood
that's
bad boy.
fighting kids, breaking into
Yeah,
buildings. Yeah,
yeah,
that's some proper LA shit.
it's proper. Yeah.
When did you become interested in music?
Um, very young. My dad is a or was a musician, and my mom loves music, and so was just always around, and it was never really forced upon me. It was kind of just something that happened naturally, and like when I asked if I could like take piano lessons when I was 7 or 8, that happened, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of boring, so I stopped. But it was like never like, oh, we love music, you have to learn. It was just like I have hippie parents, so they like let me figure my own shit out, and like do things on my own terms. um but I started playing bass when I was 14, and that's when I like really, really got serious about it.
What was your dad playing?
He's a percussionist, so
So yeah. No, yeah. Please mind that out. Yeah, that's good. So he was like, yeah, you gotta do rhythm. You gotta be in the rhythm section. He wouldn't let you play guitar because he's a drummer.
uh no, I just think
That's a joke.
for I
Yes.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't really like guitar, so I didn't care about playing guitar. Yeah.
No, guitar never interested you though, ever.
No, because I went to a super hippie school, and like I swear to you, every single teacher there played acoustic guitar, and so there was never not acoustic guitar happening when I was at school, and we had mandatory Beatles sing-alongs, so I kind of fucking hated guitar.
But you love the Beatles.
No, I hated the Beatles.
The mug says otherwise.
Well, I love the Beatles now, but it was like I had to get through some trauma of like mandatory Beatles sing-alongs with a fucking acoustic guitar. That's torture. That's
That
fucked up.
sounds very LA.
Yeah, it's super LA. Proper LA. LA
Super
proper.
proper LA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said 14 or 15 is when you started picking up the bass.
Mhm.
What was it that drew you to the bass?
Um, that's a great question because
Thank
I
you.
don't know. Why did I pick bass? I really don't know. I guess because I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers and I was obsessed with Flea.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? but I had no interest in playing like Flea, and I still don't. Um, but I guess it was because of Flea, right?
Yeah, I mean, Flea changes everybody's lives once
Yeah,
you come into contact with them.
yeah, it's true. And I
Great
went to the
actor.
Silver Lake Conservatory of Music, which is his music school. Um, and they have a scholarship program for like lower income students. And so I went for free. It was like the only way that I could afford to take music lessons. And it like literally changed my life, obviously, because it's what I do now. But I went there for 2 years, um, and like, got good at playing bass.
Did you meet Flea?
I have met him on multiple occasions.
And do you say, "Hey, thank you, Flea,
I've
for showing me
never
the
had
bass"?
the chance to thank him. Um, the longest conversation I ever had with him was at one of my choir recitals because I was also in the choir at the conservatory, and I started crying, so I just walked away. Yeah, but I would love to tell him. I like, yeah, I fantasize about being able to tell him how.
You could tell him, right, because he listens. He's a big fan
Yeah,
of
I
the
was gonna say if
podcast.
you could like join the Zoom call right now, like
Do we have
we have
Flea? Was he around? 'Cause I knew you were gonna say, do we have him? Okay, we're checking on that. If he does, we might pop him in if he's available. But yeah.
He's amazing. I love him. He's awesome. Yeah.
So 14, 15 is when you're going to this conservatory.
I
Is it
started there when I was 15. I got a bass for my 14th birthday. And then, as I said, I was a very shy young person. So I was self-taught for a year before I was even willing to take lessons because I didn't want to show up to a lesson not knowing how to play bass at all,
No,
which
that's
is
good. That's smart. That's smart.
this is the dumbest thing
You
I've
don't want to
ever
be a
heard.
novice. You want to be at
And
least an intermediate. No,
that
no.
logic is insane, but that's like I couldn't let myself start as like a beginner, like even lower than that. Because I had never played a string, like I didn't start on guitar or anything like that. I had only played piano.
And
Um,
sung Beatles songs.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I had to like learn how a fucking bass worked and like learned everything. And then I rolled up to my lessons like, yeah, I know what the strings are. Yeah, I know how to tune this thing. Uh Crazy.
Did I mean, obviously they asked you like, oh, like, well, since you have a little bit of knowledge with this thing, could you show us what you know? Was it ever a conversation that happened there?
Um Probably I think I probably did play some songs that I knew because I had like taught myself how to play by ear, like how to read tabs or whatever. So yeah, there was probably like him, like my bass teacher, Mike, asking see me play so he could gauge where to start teaching me from.
Right. Did he change everything that you were doing, or was he like, okay, this is working, let's build from here?
Uh the only I mean there was some like technical stuff. There was plenty of that of like hand positioning, especially like I think the thing that like how you distinguish a real bass player from like somebody who doesn't understand is like how they're using their fingers. And of course, I was doing like the digging method, which is like a telltale sign that somebody doesn't play bass because really you like press down with like flat fingers. And once he taught me that, like within the first few weeks of lessons, I was improving because
Tremendously. And then
yeah,
Flea asked you to join his band playing
yeah, he
bass.
was
But
like,
we'll
I'm
get to
gonna
there.
quit so you can play the Chili Peppers because you're really good and really cool.
He goes, "Hey, you're LA proper, right?" And you go,
Yeah,
"Yeah, yeah." Okay.
that's exactly what he said. Yeah.
Classic Flea. Yeah. Did, did bass kind of come naturally to you though, or at least how it worked?
Um, I think that would have gotten nowhere without taking lessons. Like I did learn a lot and have the ear that I have and like was learning how to play songs by ear, as I said, but I don't think I would have progressed much further. Um, which I guess is to say no, it didn't come naturally. Like I enjoyed it and it was fun and I could feel like a connection to what I was doing. Um, but I don't think that I was like born just like ready to play bass. Like I do think it was something I studied and or I know it was something that I studied and took really seriously because I wanted to improve at it. And sometimes it still is shocking to me that I like that human beings in general can just like learn things. And sometimes I'll be on stage playing and I'm like, whoa, like I couldn't do this at one point. And I like was so serious and committed to this thing that because I had so many interests growing up that I would hop around like in between beating up the boys.
And breaking into buildings.
I was breaking into buildings and I was like, that's a career, right? And then whatever that, or I wanted to be a hairdresser and then I wanted to be a director. And I like loved creative things and was always doing creative things, but I would like hop around and never get like super good or ever fully commit to anything. And then when I started playing bass, it was like, I want to figure this out. And then I did.
And here you are,
Yeah.
playing bass with Flea.
Not yet. Someday.
Oh, it's happening. That's that. Because this is Wednesday that we're recording this. So like, what? It's on Saturday or Sunday.
I would throw up. Like I think I would actually be sick. Yeah.
When did you begin to feel comfortable with the bass? Was it during the Silver Lake days?
So I started lessons when I was 15, and then when I was 17, I joined my first band. So probably like 16 or 17. 16 is when I really started writing songs. And then I joined the band when I was 17 and we started playing like pretty quickly after it formed. And so I was thrown into it and there wasn't time to not be comfortable with it, you know? And I think also I was confident enough at that point. So yeah, I guess like 16, 17, a couple years into it.
What was the band that you first joined?
It's called Poppy Jean Crawford. It's like my very good friend from like teenage years. She was 16 and I was 17 when we started playing together. And we went on our first tours together. And yeah.
That's
It was
awesome.
cool to have that with like somebody my own age. And like we were pretty evenly matched in our skill level. So we really grew together as musicians, which is a rare and like cool thing to have happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. What what was the first show like with that band? Was it the first time that you played a show outside of the conservatory?
Yeah, because I didn't do recitals for bass at the conservatory. It was just when I was in the choir, we would like sing for we would sing for the public.
Oh, that's what a choir does. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't
I
know.
was a little bit lost there for a minute. Okay.
The first show was really fun. It was at the Dragonfly, which is like a bar venue in Hollywood. And our drummer at that show was her guitar teacher, who was like a 30-something-year-old German guy. So it made no sense. It was a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and like a 36-year-old blonde German guy who did not understand the music that we were playing at all.
And he was a guitar
so
teacher.
Weird and dark, and he's like, I'm a rock guy. I don't know. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's cool.
And he went on to tour with you guys, but we'll get And
yeah.
then
He's
you really,
still in the band, actually.
yeah. Did you guys live together right now? Right? You guys are roommates.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that was a really fun first show.
Do you remember how you felt the day leading up to the night of the show?
Probably really fucking cool, right? Like, I graduated high school early. I graduated high school when I was 16. So I don't know anybody my own age except for Poppy. Um, None of my friends can come to the show because it's at a bar. And I dyed my hair black the day of the show. That's all I really remember because I stained my hands a bit. But it was cool because I felt like I was doing something serious, which is important to me and is a big part of my personality. Of like, if I am serious about something, I can be a little intense about it. And so it was like, I guess it was really validating that I was playing a show that wasn't like at an all ages venue for like a bunch of high schoolers. I was playing for adults who were also musicians and artists, and like felt like I was being brought into the real world, like not the make believe high school music scene world, you know?
You were 16 when you were thinking that you're supposed to be in high school.
Yeah. I was like, fuck high schoolers.
How did you end up graduating early or that early?
Being a genius.
Okay, yeah, got it. Of course,
Next
duh.
question.
Yeah, let me just.
I tested out because, as I said, I have hippie parents and they were super supportive of it and like not really into traditional schooling anyways. And I was going to a very traditional high school and it was a waste of time. High school is a waste of time. There
Hear
are,
that, kids? It's a waste of
yeah,
time.
no, drop out or test out. It doesn't matter. High school was stupid and weird. So I was like, let me try college instead.
And then how did you feel about college? Stupid and weird.
Yeah, it's stupid and weird.
How did you feel after that first show at that bar? The first adult show, quote unquote.
Yeah. I don't remember. It was so long ago now. But I really wonder, for me, playing shows is maybe the least fulfilling part of like the cycle of being a musician or an artist. Um, and I I don't know if I realized that after the first show or if it was further down the line that I realized that it's definitely not my motivation for being a musician. Um, and it's a little silly sometimes to like some days I'm really excited to get dressed up and like put on like a cool outfit and like go perform. But some days I'm like, this is so embarrassing that like you get up on the stage and you kind of like bop around for like 30 minutes to an hour and everybody's like, whoa, that's cool that you're like in an outfit like doing something, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's so lame, like that's not the point of music. But
What is the point of music to you?
I don't know, I'm not
Okay.
that smart.
What fulfills you about music? What is the most fulfilling part about playing music? If it's not playing shows, is it writing?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think
just
the process of like creating something, and especially like obviously I play bass for a lot of different people, but in my own music I play everything and like write the music by myself, and I think it's really special and important to me to have something that I am in total control of, um and that gets to be just like a pure and direct expression of myself instead of um being concerned with other people's opinions, because I think that as a person I'm pretty like open and some may say I'm a empathetic person, and I try to be really considerate of everybody's feelings around me. So I think that it is actually important for me as a person to have something that is just for myself, which is also why I think playing shows feels a little silly, because the intention of making the music is to like have something for myself. So then I'm sharing it and I'm like, that's weird. You know what I mean?
Sure. Right. I'm right there with you. When did you begin to play with other bands? When did that start to happen for you?
Really just in the last year and a half, which is
Wow.
so wild. It's like my life really changed from January of 2022 until now. And I was on tour with
Which is
Poppy.
which is Wednesday. Let's just for the
Right
people at home
now, Wednesday.
from
No,
January 2021 to
till
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah. um, I was on tour with Poppy when COVID started. Like our tour got cut and we flew back to LA at the last second. And then nothing happened. Like I my parents are like older, and so I took COVID like really seriously, and I was really scared of like getting my parents sick. So I really isolated hard for almost 2 full years. And then I ran into my friend Steve, who was drumming with Poppy. Like we were on tour together, and the
Right.
last time he
The
saw each other
German
was like
guy.
at
Right.
LAX. Yeah, the German guy.
Right. Steve, the German
And
guy.
we
Mhm.
ran into each other, and then we caught up, and then he texted me a few months later and was like, "Hey, my friend needs a bassist if you're interested." And I said yes, just because I wanted to play music with Steve again, because we had been a rhythm section together already and like had a language and there was comfort. So I didn't even listen to the guy's music. I
Huh?
was like, I didn't listen
That's
to the guy's music.
that's a joke. That's a sorry.
You can't throw me when I'm lost in thought. I'm like following the thread in my mind. I was like, sure, I'll play. And then I showed up to practice and I was like, oh, this is cool.
And what band was this with?
This is with Sam Blasucci, who's in Mapache as well.
Hmm.
It's a solo
Great,
project.
great
Yeah.
musician.
So I played with Sam and I was like, whoa, like what the fuck? Like this is some crazy musicianship. Like everybody in that group is like gnarly. And I was not used to playing with musicians of that caliber. And it was really exciting and fun because it was so different. And then I was like, okay, this is cool. I guess I'll keep doing this. And then I got asked to join SadGirl. And that was supposed to be just a one-off show. And then I ended up staying in SadGirl.
How did you guys get contact?
My friend Tim.
Steve.
My friend Tim Franco texted me and he was like, hey Rayla, long time no see. And when I say friend, I mean I went on tour with this person in 2019, bullied them the entire tour,
Classic.
thought they hated me after the tour,
Classic.
spoke to them maybe one time after. And then he texted me and he was like, hey Rayla, long time no see. Like my friend needs a bassist and we thought of you. It's like, that's insane because I thought you hated me. And I was like, sure, why not? And the show was in New York. So I was like, that's awesome. Like I'm getting a trip to New York to play bass. Cool. And then we all got along so well that I think
Did you meet them here in
we
California?
started practicing in LA like maybe 3 weeks before the show. And yeah, we all just got along so well that I think kind of just happened. Like there wasn't ever a conversation of like, oh, do you want to keep playing after this? It was kind of just like unspoken, like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this now, which is
Was how familiar were you with their music before joining the band?
like, not at all. It was a name that I was familiar with just because you know, I live in LA and I like go to shows. So I'd seen SadGirl
In
on
LA
I
proper.
don't think I in LA proper, but I don't think I'd ever seen SadGirl play. Um so I don't know actually how much I knew because when I started telling my friends, they'd be like, what? SadGirl? Like I used to see them all the time when I was in high school, and I was like,
What a great impression of your friends. What, sad girl?
what? That's crazy. Yeah, my friends rock. Love you guys.
Yeah, your friends know what's up. You're just showing up.
Yeah,
You're showing up late to the party.
yeah, yeah. With sunglasses on.
Oh,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
When,
So
when was the last time? When was the last time you left sunglasses on inside?
maybe never.
Can we pull up that photo? About to
I
prove
I
you
don't
wrong.
even I don't do well wearing sunglasses outside. And I love sunglasses, but if I'm talking
You
to
you
somebody
you
and I
don't
have
do well.
yeah. Yeah, like if I'm outside and it's sunny, but I'm talking to somebody, I'll take them off over and over because I feel like I can't see the person.
Okay, all right. Are you put the sunglasses on like the ring of the shirt, or are you like pushing them up, or?
Up, probably, and
Hmm.
then off, and then I'm holding them, and then I'll put them back on my head and like adjust them, and then I'll be like, oh, it's bright, and take them off and put them on.
Okay, so you're playing with SadGirl, and you're in that band, and you're in Sam's band as well, and you're also playing other shows with other people during this time. And when what and this was January 2021 when this was all unfolding?
2022, like just
2022. Sorry.
this year. Yeah.
My apologies. And it's Wednesday now. And if I
Okay.
realized
And
that
it
it
is
was
now
Wednesday,
Wednesday. No year, no month, no day. It's just Wednesday.
well, there is a day, and it's Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday is how
Wednesday.
you
It's true.
it's how you write it. I don't like that. I just say Wednesday. I think everybody else says it too.
Yeah.
Silent D.
I think about
Wednesday? No.
Wednesday.
How do
Hmm.
you say February? That's how I say it.
Oh God. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
I know that I talked to your PR people. They said don't bring it up, but you know,
I
I
think
have a rebellious side myself, so
we
I had to.
always say February.
February.
Yeah.
All right.
But sometimes I do like really start to think about it and I'm like February.
I'm glad
But
that
I seem
crosses your mind.
smarter if I were saying it that way.
Well, that's what you're supposed to say, but it doesn't sound.
Nobody says that.
Uh,
I'm a genius, but I'm like not pretentious. So I do things like everybody else.
that's fucking debatable. Uh, blasphemy about that.
So yes, I was playing in other people's bands. I was playing synth for some people. I was playing bass for some people. Last summer, I attempted to be in 6 bands at one time, and I had to stop because it was not fun. And
What were all the bands?
um, Sam, SadGirl, Moonali, Frankie Fox. Who else did I play for last summer? Because that's only 4. Because
Yeah.
and I don't know, it was too much, and it was all like shows in the same week, and I was trying to practice every single day with a different band, and I wasn't able to like keep up with learning all the material for everybody, and it just was not fun for me. Well, it was for a second, and then I was like, this isn't sustainable, so I stopped.
And so you had to get better as a musician to juggle all those. You had to go back to Silver Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
You said Flea. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, Flea only plays in one fucking band.
No, but he's good though. He could do it.
He's good.
So you were in those 6 bands, and then you stuck with 2. Yeah.
How did that pan out? What happened last summer? I think that I made it through I like played 4 shows with 3 bands in 1 week. And after I somehow survived that week, um there like the shows were more spread out, so I was able to like manage better. And I played a few more shows with Moonally, playing synth with them, and then SadGirl doesn't play that often. So it's pretty easy to be in like at least one other project. Oh, I was also playing my own music. That's what I was forgetting. How sad is that? So I was like,
That's only 5.
you're right. So I'm a fucking liar. I'm sorry.
So you're juggling all these different groups and your own music. When did your project begin?
Probably the day I started playing bass. I was like, yep. I'm gonna do this now. I mean, yeah, kind of truthfully, yeah. But like as soon as I was able to like play some melodic sounds on bass, I was like, okay, cool. And then I started writing somewhat good songs, decent songs. You know, when you're younger and you write songs and then you look back and you're like, that's garbage. Like, this is when I was writing stuff that I was like, oh, this sounds how I want it to. Like, or I'm starting to like uncover how to make the music that I want to make. And that probably happened when I was 15 and 16. And I would just write all the time. And also because I left high school and so I wasn't in school 5 days a week, I had so much time to just like figure shit out, you know? So that's what I was doing for a lot of those years. So probably when I was like 16, I'll say.
It was always called Delanova.
Yeah, from pretty early on, because I don't know why it was easy. Coming up with band names is hard. And I wanted it to be a band name, even though it was just me, because I didn't want the focus to just be on me. Like I wanted to be able to deflect and be like, oh, it's a band. Because I didn't want the attention solely focused on me, because this is how I behave when the attention
Radically.
like really like crazy bizarre. So yeah. And then Delanova is my mom's last name. So I was like, that's easy. That's cool.
And was this when you really started to get it going with like a record and whatnot?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't even think I had a DAW like on my computer. I had an iPad with like an iRig, which I don't know if they even make those anymore, but like I would record into GarageBand on my iPad and just like write like 10 songs a week, if not more. Just like the whole summer after I graduated high school, before I started college, I would just like spend all day writing songs or just writing bass parts and learning how to play songs and just becoming better as a musician. And then I have a record that's about to come out finally, because if you've looked me up prior to this, which I'm sure you have because you are also a genius,
Finally, validation.
I don't really have much music out because I'm a control freak and I've been far too precious about my music. And I also started so young and watched so many people around me start putting out music at the same age. And then within a year, regretting having released that music and like feeling trapped or burdened by it. So I kind of knew that I had to wait, or I wanted to wait until I was a bit older to put anything out. And I'm happy that I made that decision. cool. Yeah, listen to it, please.
Kill Care, right? Is that the name of
Yes,
the album? No,
yes.
that's KIL
Hmm.
dash KARE, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Where did that idea to
Um,
name it come from?
there is a speedway in Xenia, Ohio, called the Killcare Speedway. Um,
Of course, who doesn't know that? Right.
for those like just waking up, and I have family in Ohio and like have some farmland out there, and to get to the farmland, you drive by this speedway. Um, so I guess I've just like seen that sign my whole life and thought it looked and sounded cool, and like I don't know, it's like kill your cares, and it's like people drag racing and shit, which is, I don't know, Ohio's a really funny place. And then further down, well, I was like seeing somebody, I guess it was a very bizarre relationship I had with this person, but yeah, it was like more romantic than not. And he lived in Ohio. And so then I wrote a song about him at one point, and then I called it Kill Care. And then I was like, oh, kind of seems like the general theme of all these songs, because a lot of them were started when I was so fucking young. That like, yeah, this guy that I started dating or whatever when I was 17 or 18, he's still getting an album now. I'm 25, because like that's how slow my process has been with this. But yeah, my record's about Ohio, is what I'm getting at.
So not LA proper. Okay.
Not LA proper. It's an Ohio record through and through.
Ohio proper, maybe? Maybe?
Maybe, I don't know, because Xenia's like a really random spot in Ohio, and I also doubled down or like really committed to the reference because Gummo is set in Xenia. And I thought
Great
it was
movie.
cool that I had a personal connection to Xenia. And I saw that movie way too young, like I think so many of
As
us
did I.
did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that movie, even though I probably shouldn't. But like that fucked up feeling of like being too young to really know what you're getting into makes the memory and the experience of watching it now great. So I wanted to be able to have a reference to um, Gummo.
I mean,
Yeah,
who doesn't? Who
yeah,
isn't searching for that?
exactly. And there are like some lyrical references to it in the song Kill Care, because there's a song on Kill Care called Kill Care. Um, but yeah, just me being pretentious as per usual.
For Yush.
Yeah.
No, did you was this all recorded through those garage band recordings, or did you take it to studio?
Um, I recorded in Logic. Um,
With Logic record it? Wow. Okay.
yeah, with the rapper.
That's awesome.
Um, in
Because
my
he's from
friend,
Ohio. He's like Killcare resident.
he's a. I would believe that he's from Ohio. Actually,
I don't know.
he might be.
Do we
I'll get your producer on that.
can we
Um,
Oh, Misha's okay, hey Misha's here. We gotta
yeah, Misha knows a lot about Logic. He's a big fan. He's really inspired by him. I recorded in my friend's studio 2 years ago and redid everything. Like I had demos that were, from some of them were from GarageBand, some of them were songs I wrote later, and I just re-recorded everything by myself in March of 2021.
So you did everything. You
Mhm.
wrote it and performed it and recorded a bit of it by yourself.
All of it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's self-funded.
Yeah, well, I did like a that I guess the recording process was of like, yeah, I paid for all of it, and then I did a Kickstarter or something last summer to like finish getting it mixed, because it was self-funded, and mixing is expensive and mastering is expensive. It's been tough, and that's also what's delayed it, is money, and because it is self-funded and because life is expensive. And yeah,
Is it gonna have a physical release as well?
I hope someday, but
But
like not in the cards now. Just I'm gonna make cassettes actually, and I'll give you one if you would like one.
I sure would.
I'll make sure there you have multiple copies by the time this is out.
Good. I'll be distributing them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So come find me if you want a cassette.
Yeah, thank you. But aside from that, no, I obviously it's everybody's dream to have like a vinyl record, but that shit's expensive and I'm not gonna pay for it.
What? How are you feeling right now? Because obviously we're recording before this did come out, and it is out now.
Mhm.
Are you excited about it? What's your feelings towards it right now as we speak on Wednesday?
Today on Wednesday, I feel uh, I'm not even, it's like been such a long process. It's so hard to feel excited. And maybe when this is up and it's out, I will feel like probably I will feel another way, because then you have people engaging with it in a new way. And I've been engaging with it in the same way for so long now. And like, I don't know, I just want to move past it, and felt like I couldn't make new music for so long because I had to get this finished, but I finally have let that go in the last month or so. And like I've been writing again a lot. And I've been working on my live show and like playing a lot of shows, and that feels really good and exciting. Not the performing part, but the process of like bringing other people into
Because
my
you hate
music,
performing.
because I
We've been
hate
over that.
performing, leading that, and like, having to process my music in a way that like I can explain it to other people. And like, even if it's just explaining how a part goes, I have to be able to like be present with what I've made, which sometimes I don't feel comfortable doing. And I don't know, it's been fun, but I'm like really over this album. But now figuring out how to play these songs live and like having new arrangements for them also has helped, because it makes them new again. And yeah,
Are you excited to have a clean slate once this is out?
yes. And I can do anything I want and I'm free again. And that's all I care
Until
about.
you get tied down by another record.
My worst fear.
What do you want people to take away from this album?
Whoa.
Deep, yeah, of course. Per usual.
I think that a lot of the feelings that went into these songs and this process was like trying to prove something. Obviously, I'm like proud of these songs, and they were made for me and by me to like express whatever I was feeling when I made them. But I think that maybe more than I would like to admit, there was like a feeling wanting to prove myself to specific people, and I want to let go of that feeling. But maybe there is part of me that wants, I mean, so many people know me from playing other people's music that I think I want people to like hear it and be like, oh, this is Rayla, and this sounds like Rayla, and this feels like her, and maybe like be able to see more of me, even though that kind of makes me uncomfortable. I think that's the kind of discomfort you need to lean into, is like maybe not being as reserved as I am, and like allowing myself to be like at the forefront of the creative experience, letting people in. Maybe that's what I want people to take away from it. It's like, oh, they listen to it and then they're like, oh, I actually understand Rayla a bit better, because obviously I can be a quite deflective and like light and cheerful person, but I'm like deflecting, you know? Like I'm trying to keep you out in
I
some
didn't. I mean, I got the deflective part, light and cheerful. And no, did not get that read.
You're right. I haven't laughed a single time in this whole interview.
No, what makes music in general, your own, others that you're participating in, what makes music interesting to you, and what keeps you interested in it?
Uh, Honesty and uh yeah, honesty, I guess. Which is hard because if I'm hearing the song of somebody that I've never met before, I don't know if they were actually being honest in their process of making it or if it was like, you know. But if it feels honest to me, and it feels like somebody's intentions behind what they were doing were like not pure, but honest and just like they were doing it because they had to. Like, you know, a lot of music, I think across the board was made for that reason. And now, and I hate to sound like so old and like I don't want to sound elitist at all, but I think that the only downside to it being so easy to make music and like everybody can do it now is that there is a lack of honesty in a lot of it because people get so tied to like ego and like outward visibility of like, oh, I want to be a rock star today, so I'm going to put out this music. And then like we don't need that. There's so much music out there and it stresses me out and it stresses so many people out that will never be able to hear all of it. And I like don't want to filter through this extra bullshit. So I guess honesty and intention is what makes music interesting to me.
But for real though, how do you feel? No, I'm just kidding. Rayla, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And if you at home are looking for that honesty and integrity through music, you can definitely go find that in Delanova's
So honest.
debut debut record, Kill Care, which is streaming everywhere right now. And they can support you directly through the Bandcamp, right?
Yes.
Is that the best place?
Probably.
Okay. Well, we'll say it, delanova.bandcamp.com, and you can stay up to date with news, releases, and everything else by following um Delanova Music on Instagram. Is that the best place?
You're killing it right now.
We're really getting into the side of this thing right at the tail end. And of course, SadGirl's music is streaming everywhere, and you can go support them through their Bandcamp at wearesadgirl.bandcamp.com. And Sam Blasucci's music is streaming everywhere as well, and you can go support that band through the Bandcamp, which is samblasucci.bandcamp.com. Rayla, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Jacob. Thanks
Uh,
for
all right.
indulging. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess you're welcome.
Yeah.
Rayla, thank you. I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you.